it's okay to record, but yeah, we went through the policy with the DVMs, and we did have some changes. If you guys already signed the DocuSign and you actually read through the policy, it has all the new changes in there, but I'm going to go over them here briefly before we have our guest speaker on. Share my screen. Okay, so this is our new policy. Main things to everything is the same except for a few things. First thing is for events team members, that people that want to join the team and start working, you just have to be at 15K. Previously, it was 15K and you had to be at 20K to start working at events. Once you're at 15K, you complete the classroom training and the 2 days of field training, you're ready to work. So that is exciting. Tier 1, the DVMs and I decided that it would be standards did definitely need to go up for Tier 1. However, we didn't bring it up to the full 250 that I was talking about on the policy review meeting. So we upped it to 225. So if you're at 200K or sell over 200K in 2022, you are still Tier 1. This is just for next year. So in 2023, in order to get to Tier 1, you'll just have to sell 225. So it's just a 25,000 increase, which, all Tier 1 reps, you're all very capable of adding that to your business. So that'll be good. New events. So Josh Gord had brought the idea about for new events, basically anyone could work them, and they get the first right of refusal for the second year. So the first year you submit the booking request, you automatically get to work it, no matter what it is. And then the following year, you also get the first right of refusal. So that request just needs to be requested in your stat submission. So let's say if you work an event, you submit your stats by Tuesday at 9 a.m., then you are good to go, obviously for stats. And then in the notes, you'll just request if you would like to work that again next year, and we'll put you in the calendar right away. And then all the events, obviously we pick through them. We'll be switching to the new shift pick process. So we're going to have the Tier 1 call, the 7 divisional calls, and the optional unstaffed events call, and that's for the entire team. So I'm going to be sharing the schedule on GroupMe after the call here. For those 7 divisional calls for shift picks. So let's say, for example, Lucky, he is a Skyway rep. So he will be on the Skyway call. And then he also, as a Tier 1 rep, and this is for all Tier 1 reps, you get to pick a second division to attend. So you have to pick it at the beginning of the year, and that's what it is for the entire year. But you do have that option. So if Lucky decides he wants to choose the Big Sky division, which is out in Idaho, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you wanted to, you definitely could. You'd be able to pick any events on there, and obviously the travel restrictions are the same. So first, there's a Tier 1 call for our Tier 1 reps and all of our Tier 1 events, and then we go through the 7 divisional calls, and then the unstaffed call. And then, yeah, so that's all that. Everything's the same. It's just that we broke it up so it's a little more local. Isn't going to take a whole lot of time like it normally does. It takes like 4 hours usually for the campaign 2 call, so they will definitely be a lot shorter. And then also the thing that Sam had mentioned, if an event creates only 5 orders in a day, we'll staff it with 1 person. Once that person picks that event, they do have the option to decide if they would like to work with somebody else. And if they do, then we'll still staff it with 2 people, but that first person that picks the event gets to choose. But if it's like, for an example, there's 5 orders on a Friday, 15 on a Saturday, and 7 on a Sunday, then the Friday will be 1 person, Saturday, Sunday will be 2. The other big thing, so for turns, we're no longer doing strikes. So if you cut something, quote something, you give a card or collect a lead, whether it's a biz gift, service call, or demo, it is the end of your turn. There's no like, oh, I engaged somebody, missed 3 times. We just felt that that was discouraging people to engage clients, and we don't want you guys to feel that way at all. We want you guys to, freely engage as many people as you want, which you all should. So there's no more strikes for turns. And then I believe that is everything. So yeah, all of you guys got the DocuSign, and this same exact policy is in there. I can take a couple questions before I bring up our guest speaker. Vern, I know you raised your hand. Go for it.
Yeah, so with the tier 1 reps can pick another division to be on, does that include their division, or are they so automatically on their division call and then they can pick an outside division to be on?
Yeah, the second one. So they'll have the option to be on 2 calls. So for you, Vern, you're a Northwoods rep, so you'll be on the Northwoods call, and then you can pick. You have the option. You don't have to pick, but you do have the option to pick a second divisional call to be on that.
So tier 1 call, Northwoods call, and then I have the option of picking another division.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
I have a question.
Yeah, I'm going to take Josh's question first. He raised his hand. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay.
You're on mute.
I had 2 quick questions. So when you're on that second call, are you picking based on is the rotation still based on hey, if you sold more than the people on that call, you're higher in the rotation?
Yep. Yeah, it's all same rotation, based on the last 2 campaigns in sales. So yeah.
Okay. And then I forgot my other question. Really.
Must have been a good one. Well, we can answer it after Philip speaks.
Yeah, I'll look at the policy, and it's pretty quick and easy.
Okay. Yeah. Feel free to text me too. Tuck, I can take one more question here, and then we're going to bring Philip up.
Yeah, mine was basically the same. What I was going to say is, are you treated so say if it's that second call is Northwoods, am I treated as a Northwoods rep, or am I still treated as a Chicago rep on the call?
You're still treated as a Chicago rep on the call. So if a Northwoods rep picks an event, then, obviously you can still pick it, but if there's, as an outside rep, but let's say if, for example, you and Josh are on the Northwoods call and Josh picks an event as a Northern Illinois rep, then, obviously there's still travel restrictions and everything. So nothing changes with travel restrictions. It's just that the DVMs wanted to give you guys an option to jump on a second call, just because there's some divisions that are in very close proximity.
Okay. So I'd still be integrated in the order based on sales, but then traveling is still the same. Got it.
Yep.
Cool.
Awesome. If you guys have any other questions, I will definitely take them after the call. Just want to respect Philip here. Welcome, Philip Tice. Many of you may or may not know him. He was basically my roommate for 2 weeks in Tulsa in Texas. We were basically living with each other and working with each other almost every day. So I really got to know Philip really well, which is great, because I had no idea who he was. I knew his name, but that was about it. So we got to know each other really well, and I am so grateful. I think that is honestly one of the better things that has come out of Texas State Fair, is just being able to meet Philip and become friends with him. So I definitely appreciate working with you. I learned a lot from you, and hopefully you learned some stuff from me too. But it was definitely a good time. But I'll give you some goods about Philip here. He is currently at 950K in career sales. His best week is 40K. His best day is 32K. Proudest Cutco achievement, he had a $100,000 SC2 push, which is very impressive. He has a bachelor's in finance. His family is Riley, his wife, and Humphrey, their dog, little Humphrey. Fun fact is he owns 3 rental properties. And how old are you, Philip? You're only 25, right?
Just turned 26 2 weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. Happy birthday. I think I did you happy birthday, didn't I? Maybe I posted on Facebook.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing financially, which is great. Some hobbies: cornhole, basketball, breweries, new restaurants, shopping, and he's very good at poker too. So He didn't put that in there, but I definitely know that. And I want him to bring his poker table, maybe not cross country, but he will bring it. So, but yeah, Philip, he is here to talk to us. So I really wanted to have him speak today, basically about packages and selling big behind the booth. He definitely built an order in Tulsa, and it was one of the most impressive upserves that I've ever seen. So you guys definitely learn a lot from this guy. He is amazing at what he does. So go ahead, Philip, take it away.
What's up, guys? I'm excited to be on here. I recognize a few faces. A few of the cameras aren't on, so I don't know everybody, but I do know Josh pretty well. I know Lucky pretty well, and Vernon, beautiful women, Williams the fifth. I know him pretty well. So it's good to see those of you, and cool to see some new faces too. I know Jamie too. I just can't see his face, and Matthew. So I think I know David Johnson, if it's the David Johnson I'm thinking about. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I'm actually working a mall right now. Our mall is or this mall we're at specifically is really cool. There's our mall's in the center, and on the right wing there is a hotel, a really nice hotel, and on the left wing there's a 17-story office building, and the pilot office is actually in the office building attached to the mall. So I just hopped on the elevator and went straight up 14 floors to this office, which is really cool. But so I'm actually working the mall right now, so this is relevant for what's going on. But yeah, I mean, one of my specialties is selling big. I may not be the rep that gets the most orders. I don't work super quickly at the mall because I like to take care of every single customer or events in general. I like to make sure every customer is maximized. And a fruit of that has been my average order this year is right at $1,000, which is really cool. And it's kind of built over time over the last couple of years. One of my passions and one of my big focuses, and I would recommend y'all write this down, is every customer, every program, every time. Every customer, every program, every time, no matter what. I field trained with Josh Mueller and the Texas State Fair team about 3 years ago, maybe 4 now, when I was still a DM. I just went out there to field train so I could take some stuff back to our show team and my CSP, or a couple of CSPs I had. And the thing I learned, it wasn't anything mind blowing. It was just that Josh and all the people on that fair team, they literally do the same exact thing with every single customer. Like every customer has the same experience. They come up to the booth, they're going to hear about every single product that we sell. Whether they want it or not, they need to know about it. And whether they buy it then or buy it next year or over the course of a 10-year period, they know about it. And that's what's really important. And that's something I'm really passionate about. I don't care like what the situation is. I'm going to show every customer every single product every time. And I think that's the base layer for me to be able to upsell and for you to be able to sell big at the malls. So I want to start off by just diving into some verbiage. I typed up, I went through my head and kind of typed up some stuff that I like to say. But, you know, I guess the first thing is like the biggest objection we're getting right now is, hey, it's Christmas. Hey, I can't spend $2,000. It's Christmas. Hey, I can't spend this because it's Christmas. Like, who's heard that already? Like, probably everybody's heard that at least 10 times a day, right? And so that's like the big hurdle. So like we know it's coming. So why don't we throw it at them? Take the ammunition out of their gun and put it in our gun, right? It's like, look, I know this is coming. It's Christmas. That's why people are buying, because it's Christmas. That's not the Christmas isn't the reason people don't buy. It's the reason they do buy. And so immediately flip that around on them before they get to it. And so something that I say is, hey, Ms. Jones, by the way, since it's Christmas time and everybody's already spending a bunch of money, Cutco has allowed us to do some extra special stuff for our customers, just for people here at this mall. And you can put that at the very beginning. You can put that into your pitch. Doesn't really matter where you do it. Just do it somewhere early on, right? You can do it. Hey, you show them the Ultimate or the Homemaker, whatever. You show them the price. And if you feel that objection's coming, say it, right? If they walk up to the booth and you can already kind of feel that, hey, like price is going to be an objection, hammer it, right? Like just drop that bomb right there. Like let them or take it away from them before they can give it to you, because it's hard to overcome it, but it's easy to get ahead of it. Right? Always try to get ahead of that objection, and any objection. Anytime throughout the course of the year when you know that there's something specific that's going to come up more often, handle it ahead of time. Just bring it up ahead of time. I had a lady today that same thing, like, hey, I can't buy right now because of Christmas. I'm already spending all this money. I'm like, hey, that's great. Here's why you should. The next thing I want to show you is this, or tell you is this: use the payments more than ever right now. Right? Like, something else that I said to close the deal today is like, hey, by the way, here at the mall, what we're letting you do is we let you just make the first payment. So what Cutco does is we take your total. So if it's 2,000, we take your total and we just divide it by 5 months. It doesn't go on your credit. There's no interest. Like, it's the same as cash. Right? We're doing that because it's Christmas and we know people are spending a lot of money, but you also want Cutco and you need Cutco, and you're going to buy it eventually anyways. So we let you do that here at the mall. You just make the first payment today, which is only blank, and we worry about the rest after Christmas. And a lot of times I see people like, they just have a relief, like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I don't have to spend, $2,000 right now. I spend 400 right now. I can worry about the 1,600 later. Right? Like, I can do that in January, February, March, April, right? And you can kind of frame that however you want, but it just lets people get started. Right? So I think that's very important. Also, make sure you take your time and show every customer their options. Now, I know different malls have different foot traffic levels. Our malls are not busy. I've talked to 2 people today. Like, I've had a serious engagement with 2 people today, but I've sold to both of them. Right? Some malls may be at a different spot, better location, whatever. You may get more foot traffic. So obviously, like, adjust your speed and the pitches according to your foot traffic. But if at all possible, take your time and show them everything. Right? And let them know, hey, like, I'm not trying to necessarily sell you everything, but I want you to know about it. So here's some verbiage I use there, and I can copy and paste all these in the chat if I'm talking too fast. But here's some verbiage I would say there. It's like, by the way, if you're selling them something, like, we're looking at something specific. Like, I was showing that lady, she was looking at the homemaker, and it's like, hey, by the way, like, if you just want to get this, that's fine. But and like, I'm totally okay with that, but I do want to show you your options just in case. Just because I've had some customers in the past get a little upset I didn't show them like the other stuff earlier and the better deal earlier. So I just want to show you. And if it's still, you just want this, that's fine. But I just want to be a good Cutco rep, and I want to show you what your options are. Is that fair? And then they're like, okay, cool. Wall came down. There's no more, oh, he's just trying to sell me more. It's like, oh, he just wants to show me he's okay if I just get this. Right. And so now you're their friend, you're not the salesperson. And you just want to put yourself in a position like that. And essentially they give you permission to show you more, or to show them more. And obviously you could upsell from there. And then the next verbiage is this: by the way, just so you know, who's heard this before? Probably everybody. Since you're doing this, if you do this, then I can do this. So by the way, just so you know, since you're doing this, if you do this, then I can do this. That's the classic Josh Moeller mastery of upselling from like 10 years ago. Right? It's still relevant today. I use that every single upsell. There are some customers that I talk to, I may say that to them 7 times during the pitch. Right? I think it's very important, not only, with every customer, every program, every time, under that umbrella, under that thought is this: just because they said yes and you took them from a homemaker to a signature, or a 5 Ps to a homemaker, you're not like, yes, like, I'm good. Do it again. Right? Like, in my experience with our mall program and our division, we may only get to talk to 2 or 3 like serious prospects in a day, and that's okay. We need to maximize them though. If they're already buying, that's as qualified as it gets. there's only one person that knows if they can spend more money. That's not you, it's them. You need to ask. So under the umbrella of every customer, every program, every time, if they buy a homemaker or they buy a 5-piece or buy a knife, hey, by the way, just so you know, since you're doing this, if you do, go through that whole thing and see what they say. All the verbiage I just gave you, it all works together. It's like a sandwich. Like you got the top layer, the next layer, the next layer, the next layer. So handle the objection ahead of time. Hey, we get it's Christmas. Cutco's allowed us to do some extra special stuff for our customers here at the mall. Also, later on, once I'm doing the price, here at the mall, we're letting you just make the first payment, and that way the rest won't be due till after Christmas. That way, anybody, pretty much anybody can fit it in the budget. And then take your time. Hey, by the way, if you just want to get this, that's fine. I'm totally okay with that. But I do want to show you our options first, just in case. I've had some customers in the past get a little upset, got like smile about it, get a little upset I didn't show them everything or like before, right? So can I show you like your other options real quick? Okay, cool. Show them whatever the next step is for them. It's a 5-piece, show them the block set. If you're selling a block set, show them the bigger block set. If they're getting a block set and they're like good on that, show them the flatware, or the cookware, or the hunting package, or the gadget package, or the whatever the next thing is. And continue to show the next package. Nick, it's funny you brought that up of what happened at Tulsa with that one customer, because it happened a couple of times, but at Tulsa specifically, Nick saw the whole thing. And I took this customer, like they were struggling to convince themselves to get the 5-piece on a 5-pay, and they didn't look qualified. They just didn't. Like when they walked up, I wasn't excited that it was my turn. And after handling objection after objection after objection after objection, they were like, okay, we'll get the 5-piece. And it like got over the hump. And I could have stopped. And probably 2 years ago, I probably would have been the rep that would have stopped. Been like, cool, like that was hard, like I'm done. But at that point, they've qualified themselves as, hey, they can buy Cutco. They will buy Cutco. And after I got the card in hand, I did that. Hey, by the way, can I show you like your options, whether it's now or later? Can I show you what like the next steps are? And they're like, sure, we're not going to get anything today, but anything else, but sure. What did I show them? Hey, would you ever consider getting a block set? Yeah, down the road, we'd love to get a block set. And after going through it a little bit with them, I was like, hey, if you just want the 5-piece, like I'm fine with that. I want to be your Cutco guy. Like if you want to call me in a year or two and get the rest, or see me at the next fair, like that's fine. But since you're getting this, if you were to upgrade and just go ahead and get the block set today, if I were to be able to do XYZ for you, they make it extra special and worth your while, would you consider it? Boom. Ulti mistake. Paid in full, by the way. Went from begging them to buy a 5-piece on a 5-pay to ulti mistake, paid in full. Stupid. I was like, is this happening right now? And then the next thing, guess what? Hey, by the way, can I show you the rest of your options for later? We got the knives checked off the list, but can I show you what else Cutco sells? Sure, we're not going to buy anything else, but yeah, you can show it to us today. Show them the flatware. Guess what? Boom. They ended up getting the flatware. Had to give a good deal on it. Same type of thing. Gave the accessories for free, but I upsold. And then I would have stopped, but I kept going. And I showed them the kitchen package out of my price binder, and they were like, we would never spend that much ever. Like, we don't need the cookware, we don't need the gadgets. I'm like, that's fine. We can customize your package just for fun. If you got this package, like who could you use? Like if we were to swap out the cookware for an extra knife set, could you use an extra knife set? And they were like, well, no, not really. I was like, who could you give it to as a gift? Well, we've been thinking about getting our mom something for Christmas. I was like, this could totally be our Christmas gift. This would be the best Christmas gift you could ever get her. And they were like, okay, so if we swap that out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is happening. Like, if I swap that out, what could we swap the gadgets out for? Because we don't need those. I was like, we could just double up and get her exactly what you're getting. We could do 2 of the complete sets and 2 of the flatware chests. Y'all keep 2 of them and give them the other 2. And after they didn't just snap and do it, but after talking it over for a minute, they were like, you know what? If you give us this K-bar and pocket knife for free, we'll do it. And I was like, done. And it went from the 5-piece that I had to beg for, that all you know how that feels, the 5-piece that you're like, please, like it's $500. Like, who cares? You know, like y'all have been around those in those situations. To they had bought a Cutco kitchen package, right? And it was like 8,000 CPO. That's what I mean. And then I continued and I got shot down. I tried to sell, some more gifts. And he's like, nah, bro, like we're good. Don't show me anything else. But I told him, I'm going to show you everything. And if you don't want everything, that's fine. But I do want to show you everything just in case you see something you like, just in case it's something that you do want, and I can give you a deal on it and make it worth your while. And so I think it's really important that we do that. Take your time with every single customer. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's going to work out every time. But if you show 100 people in Upserve, if half of them say yes, it's a lot of CPO. If you show those 50 people in Upserve, the 50 that said yes, show them an Upserve, and half of them said yes, that's another 25 Upserves. And if you do the same thing, you guys can, y'all can, kind of connect the dots there. But we're all leaving. Vernon, I did not show him the coffee, bro. I'm sorry. But we're all leaving CPO on the table. And I've had times that I've kicked myself where I have someone and I do that first Upserve and they say yes and I wrap it up. And as soon as they leave the booth, I'm sitting there and every time I do a pitch with anybody, I always, after they leave, I always go, now, what could I have done better? Whether I sold a kitchen or whether I sold a knife, I always go, what could I have done better? How could this process have gone differently? And I kind of like self-evaluate every single customer I talk to. And I take some mental notes. Sometimes I'll put notes in my phone on it. And I've had people, I can't tell you how many times I've had someone that bought from me that when they leave, I'm like, damn, I forgot to Upserve. Or, hey, they went from this to a package deal. I'm like, damn, I didn't show them the kitchen. And I'll never know if those people would have bought more or not. The goal, this is something that I learned from Curtis. The goal is to go, hey, like, would anybody else have sold them more Cutco? The goal is for that answer to be no. And not everybody's as good as Curtis JQs. Not everybody's good as Brandon Brown or Nick Snyder, right? Like there's our Dawood, like and there's a lot of people I could throw out there. But the goal is, how do you get as close to perfect as you can be? And if the answer is ever yes, they could have bought more from somebody else, then if you're saying that, then you probably know why. Put that down in your notes and learn from it immediately. Like, it's not your turn anymore. So look up a net video or something and fix it for the next pitch. Every customer, every program, every time, no matter what. Cool.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Philip. If you have time for a couple questions, I'm sure there's a couple questions out there, if that's cool.
I got a ton of time for questions. If you'll make me a co-host, I can share my screen. I can do a quick Cutco kitchen pitch.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
I've sold 9 Cutco kitchens this year. I sold my 9th one this past weekend.
That is amazing. What a baller. Do you guys want to ask questions first, or you want to hear Philip do his kitchen pitch?
I'll ask my question first, then Philip can go. What's up,
Okay.
bro? Good to see you, man. Okay, so I'm assuming, but you know what they say about assuming, do you figure out the deal before you say, by the way, if you do this, then I can do this? Like, do you figure out how much, say, whatever cookware package would be or flatware package would be, and then you bring that to them? So, and if the answer is yes, do you like stall them? Okay, you're already shaking your head no.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't want to spend time on it unless I know it like it might happen. Um, so I always just inquire, ask everybody questions. I go, hey, by the way, like if I were to, like, since you're getting this homemaker, if I were to like just hook you up on this flatware that you like if I were to just like do this crazy deal and just make it extra special for you, would you consider it? Like, could I tempt you with it? And if they say no, I'm not going to waste my time.
Got
If
it.
they say yes, I'm gonna say, all right, hang on just a second. It might take me a minute because I'm gonna be cooking up a really good deal. It's not in the book, right? So just give me a minute and I'll tell you what I can do. Cool. And at that point, it gives them time also to think about it. And I've gotten excited. Like the last thing they've experienced before that moment of silence and pause is my hyped up emotion. So guess what? They're hyped up. And in their head, they're like, I really do need to get this. If he shows me this deal, like I'm gonna have to buy it. Like, like they're kind of like gives them a chance to talk themselves into it. Because a lot of times it's not like a $200 upserve. It's a big upserve. You know, great question
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
for sure. Something too, I'll say, not really on upserving, but something that I was talking to one of my guys about earlier is those people that like you can't tell if they're going to buy or not. Like they keep either haggling with you or like just something's off about them, and you want to see if they are a prospect and they could buy the set. Just be blunt and just ask them, hey, like by the way, Nick, like if if I were to find like the right package for you for the right price and you could swing in your budget, would you consider buying Cutco today at the mall? Just come right out and say it. And if they say no, great. Thanks for coming. High five. We'll see you later. If they're like, maybe, or yeah, we would consider it, then obviously now you can go all in on your pitch. That's something that was just top of mind for from a little bit ago.
Awesome, Philip. I made you co-host if you want to do a Cutco kitchen pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Let me
Great.
I'm gonna show y'all my PDF too. Let's see, page display, 2-page view. Cool. And next page. There we go, right there. That's what I want to show y'all. Can y'all see that pretty well? The Cutco kitchen. So this has helped me sell like just be package focused, not just kitchens, but in general on packages. And most of y'all probably know this, but I like to keep things like in the box. Like I want to go outside the box, but stay in the box. So what I just told you guys about that customer, I sold them the Cutco kitchen package. Like that's what got them to that price point, the package. I was like, but hey, like we can customize the package. Like we could take out the cookware if you wouldn't use that. Because a lot of times there's like one or two things in a package that throw people off. Instead of dropping down, just swap. Like I could have easily dropped down to just a package deal and gotten like 2 of the 4 sections of the kitchen. But I upsold, said, hey, here's our package. It saves money. It's a bundle, that whole thing. Same thing if you're just showing like a gadget pack, a 6-piece gadget pack, and like the wine openers throwing them off or something else. Just customize it. Don't drop down. Don't take something out. Swap. And it makes your orders all get bigger. Think about when you buy anything, like we all like the whole world is trained to buy stuff in packages. Like the whole world is, right? And so with our customers, we should be doing the same thing and get them trained on buying stuff in packages from us versus buying 1 or 2 piece a la carte here and there. So I wanted to share that. So with the full kitchen, here's how the pitch kind of starts. There's different ways. So if you got a new customer, you can off the bat tell them about the kitchen without pitching it. Someone walks up, You do the pitch. Hey, are you guys familiar with Cutco? It's like, no, we're not. Okay, cool. Do you mind if I tell you about us real quick? Show you what we're doing here at the mall today? For sure. What you got? Okay, cool. Just so you know, Cutco stands for the Cooking Utensil Company. We're a full service premier kitchen company. We have everything from our knives, we have all our pots and pans, we have our flatware, and we have gadgets and accessories, just to show you everything. Now, most people start out with our knives. Out of everything on the table, what would you be most interested in? Are you most interested in like new knives, new pots and pans? What could I show you? Most people go, well, let me see the knives. If you're more comfortable as a CSP going straight to knives first, then you can just retract that last part I said and say, hey, by the way, I'll start out showing you the knives, and just go straight into showing the knives and then revert back to the original pitch. Now you've introduced the full kitchen. It's a seed that's been planted, but you're focusing on the knives, right? You show them the knives, show them the 3 or 4 sets. They pick out a set. You're going to the pitch to show them pricing. Hey, by the way, like in our binder, the kitchen is the very first package that's shown. By the way, before I get to the knives, this is like right here already, and just flip to the kitchen. Like I said earlier, this is our full Cutco kitchen. Now we get knives, we got the Forever cutlery, the Forever flatware, the Forever cookware, and the Forever gadgets and accessories. Like I said about the knives earlier, same thing with all this. It's all guaranteed forever. It's all American made. It's meant to be the last set of stuff you'd ever buy, right? This is your lifetime set of stuff. And as you can see, the retail on it is right at 12.8, right? But our special, if you buy the whole package, is 10.5, right? So it's right at 11. And you can pay in full for it, or we can split it up. If you pay in full, it's this. If you split it up, as you can see, it's 21.18. That's all you'd pay today. Do you guys want me to show you what it would look like for you to get the kitchen, or do you just want me to go to the knives? And then you get that right there. Most people are going to say, no, I don't want to see the kitchen. Guess what? You've shown it to them. If they say, no, I'm good, just show me the knives. Say, hey, by the way, just so you know, there's 2 ways to buy the kitchen. You can buy it all at once, right? Which sounds like you guys wouldn't do that. The other option, what most people do, and whatever they choose is what most people do. They're like, yeah, I want to buy the whole thing. It's like, yeah, that's what most people do. Make them feel comfortable, right? They're not the only ones doing it. If they complain about the price of the kitchen, they're like, oh my God, 10 grand. I'm like, yeah, I know, like it's not chump change, right? When's the last time you remodeled something at your house, like invested in something big? And then they tell me something. I'm like, yeah, like, I remodeled my kitchen last year. It was way more than 10 grand. This is essentially a kitchen remodel, though. If you think about it, you're replacing everything in your entire kitchen, right? So it's like all the stuff you use. It's not necessarily, it's not like countertops and cabinets, but it's all the stuff you use every day. So it's more useful than like an actual kitchen remodel, right? So you just look at it as that. You're just upgrading your kitchen. And you kind of like get in the mindset. Don't say, oh, it's not a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, it's not chump change. I think I got that from Fonz a couple of years ago. It's not chump change. Like, it's not cheap, but like it's Cutco. You'll never have to buy stuff ever again, right? So if you could swing it, like it makes sense to do it. So there's that. If they're like, I just want to buy, like I just want to look at the knives. Say, hey, the other way to buy Cutco is you can buy the knives. Then like the next year, like the next time around, we can get you the flatware. And the next thing could be cookware. And the next thing could be gadgets and accessories. And some people just like to build it over time. Right. So it means we're gonna see each other again, right? Multiple times. And we can kind of build you over time, which is cool. Go from there, go straight back down to the knives, pitch them that. The second, or I guess the third way, so the first way is introduce it up front. The second way is as you're going to their knife set, go, hey, real quick, let me show you this. The third way is to do it in an upserve, right? If you're not comfortable showing the kitchen up front, which is okay, you can show it at the end if you want. Then after they've committed to buying something, go, hey, by the way, let me show you what it looks like and what your Cutco kitchen is going to look like over time. This is what everybody ends up having eventually. Whether they get it up front or build it over time, this is what you will have one day. Open it up. Hey, here's the Cutco kitchen, right? I know we're already getting this basic set of knives, just so I know, like the next time we talk, if you had to pick something, what would be like the next step for you in your kitchen? What's like the next priority? And they'll tell on themselves. And it's like, oh, I think I would upgrade my knife set. I think I would upgrade, or I would buy the flatware, the cookware, whatever. And you can even kind of lead them a little bit. You can go, hey, would you upgrade to the big knife set and just like get the big one? Would you buy the flatware next? Like, would that be what you would want? Would you want like, do you need new pots and pans next? You want to replace all your gadgets? Like, what would be the next thing for you? And kind of walk them through it, see what the next thing is. They're already getting the knives. Hey, by the way, just so you know, and an upserve. Every customer, every program, every time. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. As my ninth grade geometry teacher used to tell me, this was literally written on the whiteboard when I walked into class the first day. There's more than one way to skin a cat, which I thought was morbid, but that was like her thing. And it was weird, but it's the same thing. Like there's more than one way to do something. The idea is that you have the concept down and you can insert it in your pitch wherever you're most comfortable and confident. But kitchens are out there, packages are out there, family program is out there, big time, right? Like people giving gifts to other people in general. I want you guys to think about this. A Cutco customer, what's their lifetime dollar potential? Like one customer in your system over a course of time, if you do a really good job as a CSP and nurture the relationship, if they're not a business owner, just like a residential client, what is their lifetime CPO potential? Most people would say, oh, like 10 grand. I asked our key events team that a couple weeks ago at our meeting. No, most families have a couple of kids, right? And on our family program, and if you have their friends into it, plus them, over time they could spend anywhere from 30 to 50K. Now, how many customers do you have that are even at 10 so far? Exactly. Big orders are out there. And if you haven't already been selling big orders, and big orders, that's a relative term. You can define that as a homemaker. You can define that as a package deal or a kitchen or a family program, whatever. But if you haven't been selling like big orders at the booth, then your customer base that's existing can all buy big, all of them. And everybody new that you meet can buy big. And if you're confident, you do the pitch the right way, you serve the customer and their needs, and you help them understand, hey, this is the full Cutco kitchen. This is what you can do over time or today. You'll generate so much business on the spot and like over time that not just your mall program, but your entire events program, like your personal events program will absolutely crush it. And you'll have a huge pipeline of people. If you're not already pitching kitchens and package deals to customers right now, you need to start like today, because whether or not they get it is not the point. It's the fact that they know about it. If they don't know about it, they're not going to buy it. Plain and simple. They have to know about it. That's one of my biggest things with our team. They have to know about it so that the next event, they may not buy it today. The next event they will. They'll mark it down, right? Like I just bought a $14,000 couch that I've been looking at for 6 years. It's taken me some time to like get to where I wanted to buy it. But even though I haven't talked to the company that sells the couch in 6 years, it's been in the back of my mind, like I want to buy this one day. And you better believe that customers that like Cutco, like all people that like Cutco, they do the same thing. All of them. They're all like in the back of their head, they're like, one day I'm going to get blank. Right. But they can't do that if they don't know what one day they're going to be getting. So show it to everybody. I got time for questions.
Awesome. I don't know about you guys, but that was straight fire. A couple things that I learned from you. Well, I think the number one most important thing, and I've obviously known this before, but every customer, every program, every time, it's always a good reminder to always be preaching that. I really liked the hey, it's Christmas, and that's why people are buying. It's like, oh yeah, of course that's why people are buying because it's Christmas, right? And then you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm buying for other people, I shouldn't be buying for myself type of objection. Like, oh, it's the perfect time to buy. It's Christmas. And the goal that you mentioned, could anyone else sell that customer more? I think that's a really good question to ask yourself after a sale, because it's like, you know, what else could I have done to sell more Cutco to that person? So I really like that that question to reflect on each interaction. So appreciate it, Philip.
Yeah, for sure.
Lucky, you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Appreciate you, Philip, for being on this call and spitting out the fire. And it was great to meet you at Olean as well too. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Net and the company trip. But yeah, I wanted you to repeat the Christmas line. You said, "Hey, it's Christmas," and like if you're working like a kiosk or a table at a mall, like what should I say to the customer when it's just like, "Hey, it's Christmas," and then can you repeat that verbiage, please?
Yeah. So before that, you want to try to get it before that. But if they say, hey, it's Christmas, go, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I know. Like that's the greatest time to buy Cutco. You have to throw them off that thought process because their brain is on a path of like, hell no. Here's why it's a no. And you have to like literally like get them off of it ASAP. And the best way to do that is when they're like, oh yeah, like it's like it's Christmas. And as soon as you hear something like that, you need to go, oh my gosh, I know, right? Like that's why it's the perfect time. Like everybody's buying Cutco right now because it's Christmas. And they're like, wait, what? Like that's not where I was going. It's like, yeah, like Cutco has like we have our best deals this year or around Christmas, around this time of year. Like, can I tell you what we got going on right now? And you completely flipped it on them. I'm gonna copy and paste all my verbiage in the chat real quick. If you want to say that, or post in the group me.
Appreciate it, Josh. Go ahead.
What up, Philip? I've been learning those songs, working on them.
Nice.
So I got a couple questions. One, is there anything specific you're doing to introduce the family program within your progression? And at what point are you introducing that upserve?
Yeah, I like to sell through storytelling. When I was teaching today, I was told a story. And so I do introduce the family program by going, hey, by the way, here's our like family program. Like you have Cutco, right? How long have you had it? You love it, right? Would you buy it again if you had to? Don't you wish everybody in your family had Cutco? Wouldn't that be awesome? Awesome. Did you know Cutco had a family program? Like, have you heard about that before? And just not, hey, would you buy a Cutco for your friends and family? Have you heard about our family program? You heard about that? It's kind of new. No, I haven't. What is that? And then it's like a hook and bait, like hook, line, sinker. Pull out the brochure. Hey, here's our family program. Here's a story about this customer of mine. She had Cutco for 25 years. You know, her kids were all like, do you have any kids, by the way? And then relate the story to them and their situation. It's like, yeah, like how cool would it be if like, way after you're gone, your kids are still like, oh my gosh, like mom got me this. And it's like an emotional sale. And then if the dad's there, they're a lot of times men are logical and women are emotional. And it could be flipped and it could be both. But I know like if someone's talking to me and Riley and they're pitching us, I'm going to be logical, like, yep, that makes sense. They're going to use it every day. They're going to think about us, like they're never going to have to buy knives again. Right. This is a great investment for me to get my kid. For her, she'd be like, oh my gosh, they're going to think about me every single day. Like, that's awesome for like 30, 40, 50 years. And you can even share stories like, hey, by the way, Miss Jones, I work a lot of these events and we work malls every year. You know how many people walk up and go, my mom bought me this set when I got married, or my mom bought me this set for Christmas one year. And like, it's been 15 years and we still love it and use it. You know how many people say stuff like that? And they're like, yeah, a lot. And in their head, as you're sharing this stuff, they're like walking through it and they're like, that could be me. And you're nodding. You're like, yeah, that could be you. And you guys can close it after that. But introducing it is like really fun. And if you do it the right way, they'll convince themselves to buy it.
Nice. And then the other question that I had follow up, or not a follow up, different question. Is there anything specific you're doing differently with a Cutco owner to pitch kitchens? Because I feel I a lot of times lead with upgrades, and
Great
then
question.
I might plant seeds for other things, but it's like I'm going hard with an upgrade a lot of times.
Glad you said that, because I meant to show you guys that earlier. So I did the new customer, the past customer, the Cutco owner. I still show them the full Cutco kitchen package. I've had two or three kitchens I've sold this year that I just swapped the ultimate out for the platinum ultimate, which is just the ultimate with all the knives that don't come in the ultimate, or like doubles of cheese knives or stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, we can just swap it out. Like we have this set that you don't even have. We don't even sell it online. Like it's just at events. We made it just for people like you who already have the ultimate set. And they're like, what? Like I don't have that yet. Why do I not have that? Or obviously you could pull it out if they have an ultimate, pull that set out, swap it for something else, or just pull it out altogether and make it a kitchen upgrade. Or if they've got a knife set like a homemaker, you can pitch them, hey, here's the Cutco kitchen. By the way, you've already got half of this set here. So what we do for people like you is we actually have an upgrade. We'll upgrade you into the set where we get you the bigger block. Sorry, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. We just get you this full set. We'll refurbish your old set and you give it away as a gift to your kid, to a friend, family, whatever. If they don't like that, go, hey, by the way, no big deal. We've also got another program for you where we can just upgrade you into the bigger block, which is the block and the extra knives, and then we get you the rest of the stuff too. It's still a kitchen package. It's customized just to fit you and what you need. So there's like a couple of different ways you can do that for them. The biggest thing, if they're a Cutco owner, is you want to inquire. You want to ask questions, figure out where they're at and what the best option is for them before you just like go all in on it. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions for Philip?
I'm hype right now, guys. You got me excited.
You the man.
I try. I'm not the man yet. I'm trying to get like Lucky. Lucky, you're ahead of me for the year in sales, bro. I ain't the man.
Oh, really?
But you-
I know that.
Yet, though.
I'm getting already hit that.
Any other questions? There's got to be one more out there.
What was your biggest pet peeve working with Nick Snyder?
Oh man, Nick Snyder. I mean, at first he was like super quiet. Like super quiet. I had to get it. I had to like pick on him until he started talking to me. Oh, that was one. I thought he kept saying the word beg, but he was saying bag. It was beg.
Lucky always gives you crap about that too.
Can I get a bag?
Like a bagel? I'm like, why are you begging for that, bro? I don't know. That's probably it, man. He's talked a lot of trash about Vernon. I'm just kidding.
That's expected.
Yeah, it was definitely a good couple weeks. Bunk beds and everything.
I sold 2 kitchens with you, man, or 3 actually.
Yep.
I had 2 on that Tuesday. That was cool.
Yep. Good fun in Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, man. For sure.
And well, hey, I really appreciate all your time and giving back to our team. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you at Net and hopefully Texas next year too. But yeah, we're bunking in Net too, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so that should be good.
Make sure
The
to
key with
snore
Philip is you always have to fall asleep first, otherwise his snoring is going to keep you up. So we both battle each other on that. We'll
sound like a bear growling.
yeah.
That's the same with Lucky.
If
Hey,
anybody's,
hey, we don't need to discuss that.
if anybody's seen the movie Coal Miner's Daughter, when Loretta Lynn says, "Sound like an old bear growling," that's me.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. I know y'all got some stuff you got to do. So,
All good, man. Appreciate it. Crush your mall, and yeah, we'll see you in a couple months.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Tice.
Yeah.
You're a true inspiration to our team. Keep up the great work.
I appreciate y'all. Hopefully, we can connect some more.
See ya.
See ya.
Awesome, guys. So hopefully you guys got some good notes from Philip. Seth, I know you asked for some notes. We do have this recorded, so we'll be able to send you the recording too. So another thing too, just wanted to share with you guys, I had a call with Josh Moore and the DVMs today. And some things that you want to remember, and a lot of our guest speakers in 2023 are going to be kind of geared towards this, is do you guys know the 5 fundamental or the 5 foundation focus areas? You guys know what those are for Cutco?
Okay.
5 foundational focus areas for selling Cutco.
I mean, I could probably tell you, I think.
Do you have a guess, Josh? Do you have a guess of what one of them are or anything?
I mean, new customer, Cutco owner, objections, upserving.
That's 3 of them. Objections is not one of them, but the other 3 are.
Okay.
Cookware, flatware.
No, that'd be like upserving or package deals. So here, I'll go through them real quick. So, sets with new customers is 1. So I would write all these down too, because these are the five areas. If you are an expert in all these, you'll sell all kinds of packages, and you'll have a very awesome business. So like sets with new customers is 1. Closing upgrades or 5 pieces with past customers is 2, or owners, Cutco owners. That's 2. Upserving and package deals is 3. Okay, and that's what Philip was talking about today. Gifting programs is 4. It doesn't necessarily mean business gifts, but also like just gifts in general, like family program and everything else that Philip was mentioning today. The 4 is gifting programs, and 5 is marketing. So the email, texting, catalogs, postcards, all that stuff too. So if you get really good at all 5 of those things, you can be really good at events. So a lot of our guest speakers are going to be geared towards those 5 things, and also objection handling too. But so I would with those 5 things, I would go ahead. You can do this now. Rate yourself how good you are in each of those areas. So ask yourself, how good am I at selling to new customers and selling sets? How good am I closing to past customers? How good am I at upserving or selling package deals? How good am I at selling gifts? How am I doing marketing? So those are the five foundational focus areas. So if you focus on those 5 things, whether you're a brand new rep on the team or coming back to the team, or you've been on the team for a really long time and you're already one of the top reps on the team, all 5 of those things, all of us can grow and get better at. The other thing, does anyone know what 5 to thrive is? Anyone know what that is? I'll take guesses too if anyone has a guess.
Talk to
You
5
only need to talk to 5.
customers, and you should sell Cutco.
If you talk to 5 customers, if you talk to 5 qualified customers, it'll be a good day, right? So if I ask like Vernon, for example, hey Vernon, if you see 5 qualified people, how many of those people are you closing in a day?
I would say at least 3.
At least 3
on a bad day.
on a bad day. Tuck, what about you? If you saw 5 people, qualified people, how many of those people are you closing?
I'm going 4.
4? Lucky, what about you?
Closing 3 of them.
3 of them? Josh?
I'll just close all of them.
Close all
No.
5, right?
At least 3, 3, 4, 5, depending on the day.
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, if I see 5 qualified people, I'm closing all 5 of those people. I'm confident in my skill set that I will close all 5. So if you're not at a 5 or a 4, it's like what are those 5? What are those other areas that you can work on? So you make sure you are closing all 5 of those people. So just kind of think about that as like, oh, okay. So if no matter where I am, whether I'm at, the county fair, the craft fair, the flea market, the state fair, give me 5 people and I can make it a 5K day. I can sell 3 to 5K that day. If you don't have that confidence yet, it just means you got to work on your skill set. So just kind of keep that in mind. Moving on here, does anyone else have any other questions about policy stuff that I mentioned before Philip got on?
I had a quick question.
Yeah, go for it. Was it the one that you forgot?
Yeah, well, I remembered it actually.
Okay, perfect.
So with the turns, essentially, is it like, so it's cut card, quote, service call, order, right? But
Yep.
somebody says, is it still like, oh, if somebody asks a price, oh, knives are about 100 to 200. Is that an actual interaction, or is that?
Nope. No, that's nothing.
So with it being no strikes, I can have like 5 of those interactions and it's not a turn.
Correct. Yep. Yeah. And obviously, if you have that many people asking price and you're not quoting at that point, I would probably question like, why aren't you trying, hard
Yeah, I'm
thing, right?
trying to get an idea of what it actually means to. Okay.
Yeah. So if somebody walks up and they say, hey, how much is a missing table knife? And you're like, oh, about $50. They walk off. And then somebody else walks up and they're like, oh, how much is a pair of shears? And you're like, oh, they're like 130 or whatever. And they walk off. And then it's like, oh, how much is a trimmer for the third person? You're like, it's about $100. It's like, that just means that sales rep isn't trying to create a sale. It's like, obviously you should try to engage that person besides just throwing them. Right. But yeah, if you engage them and it happens frequently, I mean, it happens. So like so Texas, Iowa, all the main big teams, this is basically how they do turns as well, is the way that we're doing it now without the strikes. And the way that I was like, when I was working in Texas, when I was working with Philip, I was just like, man, it's been an hour and I haven't had a turn yet. I'm like, I got to have a turn.
Yeah. It's designed to create engagement and like keep it moving.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, so there shouldn't be anyone squatting. And if it's a county fair and it's super slow, yeah, there's a chance a couple hours go by and you don't have a turn. But I would think, for the most part, you should be, as long as you're engaging and everyone is. So again, there's no cherry picking or anything. It's not like you can sit in the back of the booth on a chair and just wait for somebody to walk up. It's still the same rules apply. But so yeah, the reason why we took strikes away is so it encourages everybody to engage people as much as they can. So does that help?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sweet. Any other questions? Anything? Sweet. So something I did want to let you guys know. We don't have the final details yet, but we were talking about doing a team dinner around year-end banquet. However, we are all going to be together anyway. So we're like, I don't really want to make it. So everyone's got to travel in, have that extra travel cost and everything else. So Caden actually brought this up. So I appreciate you mentioning this, Caden. But what we've decided is we are going to do a dinner at Net in Oklahoma City for the entire team. So anyone that is attending Net, chances are it will be on Wednesday. I just have to confirm with a couple people that it's okay that we do it on Wednesday. It sounds like the conference will end around 6 o'clock. They usually have free time after that. So we'll probably go to steak dinner around 6:30. I will be getting a reservation and everything. It's within walking distance. Dave already gave me he recommended a restaurant already, which is great. And Carlton did too, because he lives there, for those of you that know Carlton. So yeah, anyone that is on our team will be able to eat steak with us. And it is fully paid for by the team account. So anyone going to net, and if you have not decided if you're going to net, you should definitely sign up for net. Right now, there's 41 people on our team that are going, which is super exciting. We'll be one of the biggest teams, if not the biggest team at net, which is super exciting. But if you haven't decided if you're going to go, you should definitely go. There's going to be a lot of high level sales reps that are there. Not only people like Philip Tice and Brandon Brown and Curtis and Mike Dowd and everyone else, but there's going to be a lot of basically all the top reps that do events are going to be there. So something you definitely want to attend if you haven't signed up yet. So yeah, super excited to treat you guys to steak dinner. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And it's going to be really cool to see everyone face to face that we don't get to see all the time. Especially all you guys out in Big Sky. Excited to see you guys at net too. And really anyone else that I don't see normally, which is basically just Kevin Marr, and sometimes the event managers. But yeah, so super excited for that too. Does anyone else have any other questions about anything? Anything else? About anything? Doesn't have to be literally about anything. Policy, website, anything like that.
Whereabouts will the recording be again?
I'm going to send it to you so you can put it on YouTube. So it'll be the
Sounds great.
And then you'll put it on YouTube and you'll put it on GroupMe. Look at that.
Anything
good,
we can
thank
do
you.
to help more people get to net? I mean, anybody on the fence that need me to talk to?
Lucky, were you gonna say anything?
Yeah, I was gonna say Tice's notes are on the message chat here. Should I put it on a group me?
Yeah, go for it. That'd be great. Appreciate it. For anyone that wants to hop off, you're more than welcome to. We'll be yes, it goes till 6. Luckily, we didn't have a whole lot to talk about this call, so if you guys want to hop off, I did want to leave some extra time for anyone that wants to share any tips or hot news. I know there's something I wanted to share with everyone that I'm doing right now. So right now I have my past customer sale going on. I'll be at the mall on Saturday too. But the big thing that I've been doing is selling a lot of sets to past customers with gifts. So everyone has it around Christmas. Somebody says, hey, I want to build my son or daughter a set of Cutco. Those are the perfect customers. They say, you know what? I'm going to start them with a pair of shears. And I'm like, awesome. So just so you know, we have really good deals on sets right now. And yes, if you only want to buy 1 or 2 pieces every single year and build them a set over the next 5 or 10 years, you totally can do that. But a lot of customers are saving money because what they do is they buy the set and then they just hang on to it. And then over the next 5, 10 years, you just give them a couple knives for Christmas, birthday, anniversary, anything like that. And then they'll eventually have a full set, but you get the set discount. So instead of only getting the 5%, you get like 20 to 30% off. You want to see what the sets are running at, Mrs. Jones? And everybody is like, well, yeah, if it's a better deal. And it's like, okay. Which set do you eventually want your son or daughter to have? I think I want them to have the signature set. Awesome. It's one of the most popular sets that we sell. Then you quote them a Siggy. I literally had a lady, she's one of my top clients up in Sobieski, Wisconsin. It's up north of Green Bay. And she was like, oh my gosh, Nick, every time I call you, I'm spending all this money. So it's like, it's okay. It's a good way. It's a very easy way to upsell gifts through the holidays. So I definitely encourage anyone to use those lines. Does anyone else have anything, any tips or hot news that they've been using at the mall or for their sale or anything else?
Yeah, I'll chime in. So I'll definitely echo on that, where I pretty much do the same thing. But it's more of, why don't you tell me either which set you eventually want to get them or all the pieces you eventually want to get them, and I'll just put it on your wish list. And then they do that, and then I basically say the same thing, and then show them, well, this is what I could do if you got everything. And of course, I'm really hammering the price increase. And the big line that I've been saying for a while this year is, you could definitely get it whenever you want. I'll be here, for when you want to get it. But our prices are going up by nearly 10% in February. So, you could definitely do what you want, but if it's not going to break the bank today to get it, you might as well, because at the end of the day, you'll just end up spending more money on the same exact product. And then obviously that makes sense to them. Something else with buying gifts, I took a customer from a 3-piece set to a galley with shears last night over the phone, and she was buying a set for her husband. And usually when someone buys like a couple pieces as a gift, I tell them, that's awesome, this would be great. Who's this for? Is this their first piece of Cutco? And when they say yes, I'm like, cool, do you mind if I give you a suggestion? And say yes. And I say, so, they're definitely going to love this. Just what I found in my 12 years experience with Cutco, usually when someone gets a couple pieces, it's obviously going to be their favorite knives in their kitchen, which just means they might tend to overuse it, which might mean that they could dull faster. And next thing their Cutco experiences weren't ruined, or like, well, I thought these were the greatest knives ever. Why are they so dull so quickly, right? So if you're open to spending a little more money, we do have great packages and great sets that gives them a nice, well-rounded option. So they're not going to overuse those pieces. Plus, I got great deals going on. Are you open to seeing those suggestions? And she said yes. And I basically showed her like the 5 sets with the showstopper and galley, and then the normal three sets. And then she ended up picking the galley. So whenever someone's wanting to get a couple pieces specifically for a gift, I would recommend saying that.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Vern. Yes. Gifting is a great layer. Anything else? Any other hot news or tips or anything for selling at malls or holidays or anything else?
Every program, every customer, every time definitely works. That's how I sold my showstoppers yesterday. So a customer that I sold to in college basically hasn't bought since. And then, I went through all the different packages, and then we talked about the family program, and she got 4 showstopper sets. So definitely make that a discipline.
Awesome. Anything else?
One thing I'm doing, I mean, it's been taught before, but it's Luke Mills and Josh Muller. They do the piggyback approach. So after you close an order, just saying, hey, by the way, my sale goes till the end of the year. So your order is actually live between now and the end of the year. Or with the price increase, you could say between now and February. So if there's anything else you want to add to your order, or let's say you give out the Cutco and they want more Cutco, we can always add it to the order. And if it qualifies for a higher discount, we just get you a higher discount. And then I also just use that to plant seeds of like other packages and programs. And then it's also helped me upserve just right there on the spot.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like I think Luke, we had a recorded talk from him earlier this year on the piggyback method. Straight flames.
And it's good to use at the mall, also just on the phone as well. So
For sure. Appreciate it, Josh. Anything else? Welcome, Mohammed. We're just wrapping up here, but welcome to hang out with us. And I will stay on as long as I need to for any questions or anything else. Otherwise, yeah, like I mentioned, if you want to hop off, go for it. But I'll be here till 6. So anything else?
I'll see you.
See you, Josh. Thanks for hopping on.
Peace.
See you, Tuck. See you, David. Appreciate it.